MMA Rants and Raves, UFC Live, Gabriel Gonzaga versus Junior Dos Santos. Let's talk about these two fighters, guys. Let's start with Gabriel Gonzaga. Very talented heavyweight. He is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The guy has fought some tough fights. I like the fight against Randy Couture. He showed his toughness. You know, he was dominated. He had the broken nose, but he kept on fighting, so he can get into fights. He's got some decent cardio. He can continue going, get deep into fights, despite if he's injured. So that was a good sign to show what this guy's about. And then, of course, the Mirko Cro Cop fight. My goodness. I mean, he took a page out of Mirko Cro Cop's book and knocked him out with a kick to the head. Usually it's the other way around. Never seen Cro Cop get knocked out like that before. So the guy is a talented fighter, and he can take it to guys. I mean, even in the fight against Carwin, I mean, he did get knocked out, but to his credit, just look at the beginning of the fight. He attacked Carwin like a mad dog. I mean, he was coming after him. He threw a couple of combinations. Carwin's eyes rolled in the back of his head. I said, oh boy, you know, that's going to be the end of his undefeated streak. He's really going to take care of business here. And then he takes him down like a rag doll. 265-pound Carwin just throws him to the ground. And I said, wow, this is going to be over pretty soon. Then, of course, you know, it was unfortunate he got knocked out. But, you know, the guy shows that he can strike well. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He took him down. So, got to give him credit. He's a talented fighter. He can fight with the best, and he can fight well. But you know what? He's fighting Junior Dos Santos, and as you well know, if you've seen his fights, Junior Dos Santos is the real thing here, guys. And for any of you who haven't watched his fights yet, please take the time to do so and watch his fights, because I can't understand why this guy is not getting that much attention. I mean, the attention that he should be getting. I always call him the X Factor. This guy's the X Factor in the heavyweight division right now. He is the sleeping giant. If you look at all the big heavyweights right now in the UFC, you look at Carwin, you look at Mir, you look at Velasquez and Lesnar. Well, Velasquez is now the fourth. I mean, those are the big three, and now Velasquez, of course, you know, after the Nogueira knockout. You know, this guy, out of all of them, has the most dangerous stand-up. And what's scary about Dos Santos is, I don't know why this hasn't been discussed, he hasn't even had to go to his other talents, his other mixed martial arts talents. He's been so talented standing up. I mean, just look at his past few opponents against Cro Cop, against Ivel. Look what he's done to these guys against Struve. Knocked Struve out in the first round. Knocked Ivel out in the first round. Ivel's, you know, he's a tough chin. He's not an easy guy to knock out. And he just made short work of him. I mean, what heavyweight has been so dominant in their past few fights like this guy has been, with only one dimension of his mixed martial arts talents? And then, you know, Gonzaga was talking about him not being as good in the kicking game. Well, maybe Gonzaga hasn't seen his kickboxing record. The guy is 18-0 as a kickboxer, so he can really kick 18-0. But he's been so good with his hands, he hasn't had to go to that. I mean, how could you say that for any of the other heavyweights? Very well-rounded fighter. And to strengthen my point, look at the Cro Cop fight. When he's fought Mirko Cro Cop, I mean, he just was using his hands. He really didn't throw any kicks. And this is a guy, if you have a talent of being a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, by the way, he was awarded that brown belt from the Nogueira brothers. I mean, they're the best in the business. It also depends where you got the belt from. I mean, I would think if you're facing a guy like Cro Cop, you're not going to go in his element and strike with this guy. You'll take it to the ground. But he didn't. He didn't. He went in his element, in Cro Cop's element, and was striking with this guy and dominated. He dominated. Cro Cop gave up at the end of the fight. He couldn't see. He got knocked so hard. And that's what I want to get to, another point. Out of all the heavyweights, this guy, I mean, he's an animal. He strikes with such ferocity, speed. His hands come at you so quickly and so hard. This is a 6'3" guy, 238 pounds. And I think for a man his size, it just seems that he hits the hardest and fastest, proportional to a man that's his size. He throws some heavy blows at people, and that's why he is so dominant with what he does. Now, the scary thing about this guy is, as he climbs his way up the talent ladder and faces more higher caliber fighters, he's going to be going to different dimensions of his mixed martial arts abilities. And that's going to make him even scarier. This guy is a title contender right now. I don't know why it hasn't been discussed. That's my rant. And it's not really much of a big rant because the heavyweight division is really getting much better than it used to be. It used to be just Randy Couture, Tim Silva. Now look at it. You got Carwin, you got Mir, you got Lesnar, you got Velasquez, and now you have Dos Santos. So there's just a lot of people there. You know, Nogueira's still around, despite what happened. You got Cro Cop is still around. It's a very dangerous, very big heavyweight division, and it's very competitive. But this guy is a dangerous fighter. And that's the point of the prediction. The point of the prediction is how good Gonzaga is. This guy's the real thing. 25 years old. I mean, he's got so many aspects to his game. It's just using one because he's been so dominant using it. So getting into prediction, you know, this is the way I see it going. I either see Dos Santos winning by early TKO. If Gonzaga can weather the storm, he's a talented fighter. It can go to a referee's unanimous decision. I see Junior Dos Santos winning this fight. I would like to hear what you guys have to say about the fight and also about Junior Dos Santos. What do you think about this guy? I would like to know more about what you guys think about him. And I just want to mention before I end this that I did start a contest to win a brand new 12 megapixel digital camera. I did post right above, well, it's either that way or that way, in the video description, the link to the contest. But basically all you have to do is subscribe. That's all I ask. If you want to keep these videos coming, all I ask is for your support. It's just click on subscribe. It doesn't even have to refresh the page. It takes a second. And you'll be eligible also to win that 12 megapixel digital camera. The link is right there. You can learn more about it. I appreciate the time that you took to watch this video and all my other videos on mixed martial arts analysis. Please leave those comments below the video, as I mentioned. And remember to please subscribe, and thank you for tuning in.